what's up guys? My name is Breezee of Lucky Cat Beats, and today I'm going to show you guys how to mix trap beats. I do use Waves plugin, but you can do this with any plugins, but yeah. So as you guys can see right now, I like putting all my tracks through an output bus, and on that bus it's gonna kind of be like my mastering chain and whatnot. And in this one, I'm just gonna put these effects. So the first one that I like to use is called Kramer. And the Kramer, it practically just gives everything a saturation. And so I'm gonna just play the beat and then I'm gonna figure out what I like to do with it. So let me play it. And actually let me go to the busier part of the beat, which is the chorus. So like I mentioned, I just like using the Kramer as a saturation, and I like using that just to kind of make sure that all the sounds are kind of like sounding like good with each other. And then after that, another thing that you do want to do is edit in mono. Alright, so I like putting the Kramer first. I do use a stereo one just because that's what most of the sounds are going to be on, and then I make sure everything else is in mono. So I want to be mixing in mono just because it gives me more of a realistic sound of what things are actually going to sound like. So it's just easier to mix in mono. Alright, and then after I kind of do that, I try figuring out what sounds within a specific instrument is too loud, or if it's too out of like frequency. So I'm gonna just play it again and I'm gonna try to listen to that. I am gonna turn this up so I can hear better, but yeah. So right now, usually most people will like gain stage stuff. I don't necessarily like doing that just because everything is pretty like subjective. Everything is different for everybody. And then some sounds are louder than others. So, but right now what I can tell is that the sub lab, the 808 that I'm using, is coming out too loud. So I'm gonna try to figure out what I want to do with that. But before I mess around with any of the frequencies, what I do like to do is I do like using this one called Vitamin. And of course it's already on mono and stuff, but if we do the stereo one and then we apply it, and then if you guys see these bands right here, if you make it smaller, it'll make it into mono. And so what I like to do is I like to make my 808s and kicks into mono. So right now I made everything into mono, even though it is already turned on. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the mono option on this and then tune the 808 how I want it. Even though right now it's kind of clipping, I do like how it sounds. I'm gonna go to the part where I have the kick and the 808. And I do like making my kicks and 808s into mono. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same for the kick. So when you're choosing an 808 or a kick, you just always want to make sure they're already separated. If not, you can always go ahead and switch the sounds on your kick. But when I made this beat originally, I actually made it so that I can kind of tell different frequencies between the 808 and the kick. And because of that, like right now I just made it into mono. It sounds almost perfect just by themselves without having to edit anything. So I like how it sounds right now. This is actually a pretty easy mix because there isn't so many frequencies, and I might just edit a little bit. I might edit a little bit of the 808 because it is pretty loud here when the other higher frequencies come in with the guitar. So what some people also like to do is they'll turn off certain frequencies because the ear can't really hear them. So anything above 50, we can't really hear, but I'm gonna just keep it at 40 Hertz. And then for the high band right here, or the low pass filter, or the high pass filter actually, this should be the high pass. Anyways, I like to have it around right there, 13 kilohertz. So let's see what that sounds like. Got rid of some of the sounds, and so this isn't gonna be the last tutorial that I make. I'm probably gonna just record all the beats that I make and then just see what they sound like. That way you guys can learn as I'm going through, because not every song is the same, but this is just a trap guitar beat, and so this one was really simple. So let me just get to it. Even here, still the guitar is a little bit too strong on the high pitch end of it. So what I might do is I might put a limiter on the 808. Not a lot, just a little bit, maybe like 1 decibel, and maybe 2. So hold on, let me listen to it again. That works. And then the last thing that I do want to do is, since it is kind of fighting with the high frequencies of the guitar, after playing around with it to try to get the sound as loud as I want it to be, I am going to edit the guitar sound. So give me a moment. Usually what I do here is I find the loudest sound, and you can do this with any EQ. I find the loudest sound on the high frequencies that sounds bad, and then I just turn it down. So let me try to find it. So practically what you're gonna do is you're just gonna raise up for it and try to hear it out. So it might sound really bad, but bear with me. So that's the sound right here that is kind of fighting with the 808. So I'm gonna just make it smaller, and then I'm just gonna bring it down, maybe like 3 decibels. And that should kind of get rid of the fight between the 808 and the guitar. Alright, and lastly, I don't really do a lot of mastering. Most of the time when you're going to be selling beats, people are, if they're serious, they're going to buy the stems. And so someone else is going to have to worry about like practically just mixing everything, but you want to do as best as you can. But also there is one that I do like to use for mastering, and it's called, alright, so I'm going to just put it on mono, and then I'm going to find the Impusher. And usually when you're using waves, you want to make sure that you're using all on stereo. I know it's kind of weird, but it is what it is. And then I'm gonna put it on the master bus, and then I'm gonna figure out the sounds that I want. So usually with this one is you can either make the highs go really high, or this is for like the body, or this is for the low end, whatever you want to make kind of like sound a little bit louder. When you're mastering, you don't really want to push it over the top. You just want to give it that little extra like decibel or two. I'm gonna just mess around a little bit with it and just kind of see what happens. Right here, you can kind of find like the band frequency that you want to do. For this one, I think 52 might do it. And my cat wants to come out in the video, so shout out to the cat Coco. But yeah, hold on. So you can kind of find the frequency just by putting it all the way up, and then from there you can kind of mess around with it. Let's try 49. Yeah, the frequency is definitely there. So let's go all the way down and let's do about maybe 5 decibels or 0.5 decibels. And just that little bit that you add through the Impusher makes a huge difference. You don't have to do a lot, because in your mastering chain, like, you don't want to like go crazy on it. You just want to do a little bit, and that like little bit of difference makes a huge difference. Alright, so let me bypass first the mastering aspects of it. I know it is more of a mixing tutorial, but let me bypass it so you guys can hear what it sounds like. Yeah, so actually I'm pretty satisfied with this, and again, I don't want to give you guys a strict structure because mixing and mastering is a little bit different for every song. It's not always the same, but I kind of really like how it came down to it. So just a quick few tips again. So the first thing you want to do is that I mentioned, you want to use the saturation kramer tape, and you want to make sure that it's stereo, and then get something that turns into everything into mono. And then after that, you could do the Impusher, but you want to use the Impusher at the very end after you mixed everything, and then just use a little bit. And for most of my 808s and kicks, I like to turn them into mono, so I'll do that. And then from there, I just kind of grab any frequencies that are fighting with the 808. Usually the melody will end up like fighting with the 808 because of the higher frequency. So from there, you want to just EQ the melody or the chords. But besides that, for this beat, I think we're done. Alright, so usually what I like to use to listen to my beats is Dropbox as well. So I'm just exporting the beat right now, and then I'm gonna send it to myself via Dropbox, and then I'm gonna listen to it on the car. Alright guys, so right now I'm in my car and I'm listening to the beat. One quick tip that I do want to mention is make sure you listen to it through like a cord. Don't use Bluetooth. Bluetooth doesn't really capture the real sound of what the beat is gonna sound like. So yeah, but besides that, let's listen to it. So right now, just listening to the beat, I think the beat is really good how it is. The good thing is that like when you mix for certain type of beats and there isn't a lot of sounds, it's a lot easier to play around with it, especially if the frequencies are so different. But besides that, I think for today's beat, we are good. I'm probably going to show you guys my next mixing video, just to kind of show you guys the different beats that I make and whatnot, and also to like show you that not every mixing is the same. There's certain techniques that you use all the time, but sometimes you have to do things a little bit different. But thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, make sure that you comment below. And I'm Breezee of Lucky Cat Beats. Peace.